A ghost lingers in the shadows of Outlander. Not a stranger, not an enemy, but the spirit of someone who was gone before she could live. Faith Fraser. What does her presence mean, and why has the story chosen this moment to bring her back? Outlander has always been a story of time, fate, and love stretched across centuries. But hidden beneath its sweeping romance and thrilling battles is something more haunting, the constant presence of the past. Every choice made by Claire and Jamie carries a shadow, and sometimes that shadow takes form. In the opening of Season 8, Episode 1, that shadow becomes a name viewers have not heard in years: Faith Fraser. Faith is no ordinary figure in the Outlander world. She is the child that Claire and Jamie never had the chance to raise, the baby who died in Paris back in Season 2 for longtime fans. That loss was one of the most heartbreaking moments in the entire series. Claire's grief was unbearable, and Jamie's silence carried the pain of a father who could not even hold his child. That memory was tucked away like a wound that never truly healed. Yet now, in this final season, the wound has been reopened. In the most mysterious way, a ghostly presence appears. A whisper, a feeling. A reminder that Faith has never truly left the story, but why bring Faith back now? Why in this exact moment as Outlander reaches its conclusion? That is the mystery the episode sets up for us. And it is not just a simple scare, nor is it a sentimental callback. Instead, Faith's ghost seems to hold a secret meaning, a message. For Claire, for Jamie, and perhaps even for their children, it's as if Outlander is telling us the past is never gone. The ones we lose still walk beside us. This first section of the story places the audience in a space of both sorrow and wonder. The narration and atmosphere lean into the idea that ghosts in Outlander are not traditional horror figures. They are not meant to terrify. They are meant to remind us, to guide us, and sometimes to warn us. With Faith's appearance, the show is asking us to look beyond what we see on the surface. Faith's presence is not just about grief, it's about destiny. As the faceless video unfolds, we invite the viewer to feel this mystery in their bones. Imagine the quiet halls where Claire once cried in Paris. Imagine the ghost of a child, never born into life, now drifting back into the story, not with screams, but with silence. That silence speaks louder than any words, and it is that silence the episode wants us to hear. This is why Faith Fraser's ghost matters. Because her story was not finished. Because even though she only existed for moments, she became a part of the larger tapestry of Outlander. And now, her return is not a random trick of the writers, but a deliberate signal that everything in this world, every joy, every loss, every sacrifice is connected. Faith's ghost is a thread pulling us back to the beginning, even as the show prepares to close its final chapter. So as we step into Season 8, Episode 1, the hook is clear. Outlander is not only about journeys across time, but about the spirits that follow us wherever we go. And Faith Fraser, though gone, is walking with us again. Faith Fraser's story is one of the most heartbreaking moments in all of Outlander. She was the child of Claire and Jamie Fraser, born during their time in Paris, but her life was tragically short, so short that she never even took a breath in the world. Her birth came too early, her little body too fragile, and she died in Claire's arms. It was a devastating loss that left scars not only on Claire but on Jamie too, even though he wasn't there to see or hold her. When Faith was introduced in Season 2, she wasn't a character with lines or scenes of her own. Instead, she was a symbol of what Claire and Jamie sacrificed for their fight against history. At that time, their mission was to change the future, to stop the Jacobite rising, and to save countless lives. But fate demanded a price, and that price was Faith. It was one of those moments when Outlander reminded us that time itself is cruel, and no matter how much you fight, you cannot escape every loss. For Claire, Faith's death was not just a personal tragedy, it was a breaking point. She carried the memory of that child for the rest of her life. We saw it in small moments, in quiet reflections, in the way she often held Brianna tighter. Faith became a shadow in Claire's story, never far from her mind. Jamie, too, was haunted. Though he never held Faith, the knowledge that he lost his first child weighed on him. And together, as husband and wife, they carried that grief like a silent burden through every season that followed. The show rarely spoke of Faith again after Paris, but fans never forgot. It was one of those turning points that shaped the characters forever. Every trial and every triumph they faced afterward had this invisible layer of sorrow beneath it. And perhaps that was the point. Faith wasn't gone in spirit. She remained. With Claire, with Jamie, and even with Brianna, who lived under the shadow of a sister she never met. This is why her return as a ghost in Season 8 is so powerful. It is not random, it is not just a trick of memory. It is a reminder that Faith's story was never truly finished. She may have only existed for moments, but her influence has stretched across decades of Outlander storytelling. She is the representation of everything the Frasers have lost, and at the same time, she is a symbol of what they continue to fight for: family, love, and the chance to shape destiny despite the pain. Looking back on Faith's storyline, it becomes clear why the writers chose to bring her back now. Faith's presence has always been woven into the narrative like a hidden thread. We didn't always see it, but we felt it. Whenever Claire doubted herself, whenever Jamie suffered in silence, whenever time itself reminded them of the cost of their choices, Faith was there. And by reintroducing her ghost in Season 8, Episode 1, the show is saying this loss matters. This child matters, and she is not gone. Her story is not about fear. It is about love that never ends. Faith is not a spirit to be feared, but a spirit to be remembered. She is a reminder that even in the harshest losses, there is still connection, still meaning, and still a bond that time cannot destroy. Asterisk in the first episode of Outlander Season 8, something extraordinary happens. Something that feels less like television and more like a whisper carried through centuries. A ghost appears, but this ghost is not a stranger. It is not the spirit of an enemy or a nameless soul. It is Faith Fraser, the child who never lived, yet somehow lives still in the hearts of her family. The scene is quiet, almost ordinary at first. Claire is alone. The world around her has that stillness that only Outlander can capture, half drenched in history, half wrapped in memory. And then it happens, a shift in the air. A feeling that someone else is present. Not in a loud or terrifying way, but soft, tender, as though the universe itself has allowed a boundary to break for just one moment. Claire feels it before she sees it. A warmth, a breath, a flicker of something familiar. For years, Claire carried the weight of Faith's death in silence. But in this moment, her grief transforms. Where once there was only loss, now there is presence. Faith appears not fully, not in the flesh, but as a ghostly vision, a child's spirit brushing against the edge of the living world. And it is not fear that fills Claire, it is not shock. It is recognition. It is love. The beauty of this encounter is that it avoids cliché. Faith does not speak with words. She does not deliver a warning in the way other ghosts might in stories. Instead, she exists like a memory come alive. Perhaps Claire sees her in a reflection or in the glow of candlelight. Perhaps she hears the soft cry of a child, only to realize it is not memory, but presence. Whatever the form, the meaning is clear. Faith has returned, not to haunt, but to remind. For Jamie, the experience is different, but no less powerful, though. He never held Faith in life. The weight of being her father has never left him. In the episode, Jamie senses something before Claire even speaks of it. A father's instinct, an unexplainable pull, as if a missing part of him has stepped back into his orbit. When Claire finally shares what she has seen, Jamie does not dismiss it. He believes her, because in his heart, he has always known that the dead are never far away. This ghostly encounter is layered with meaning. On one hand, it is a deeply emotional moment for Claire and Jamie, a chance to touch the child they lost, if only through spirit. On the other hand, it is a signal for the audience. Outlander is closing its story, and Faith's reappearance is not random. She's a bridge between what was lost in Paris and what is yet to come. Her ghost represents unfinished business, but not in the way of vengeance or fear. Instead, her presence feels like guidance. Some fans may see Faith's ghost as a symbol of protection, as if she is watching over her family as they head into their final trials. Others may view her as a metaphor and echo of the choices made long ago, reminding the Frasers that the past cannot be erased, only carried forward. And still, there is another interpretation, faith as a sign of destiny, woven into the fabric of Outlander's universe, where time is fluid, where spirits move freely, and where love crosses every boundary. The brilliance of this encounter is that it speaks differently to everyone who watches it. For some, it will be pure heartbreak. For others, it will be comfort. And for many, it will feel like both at once, a bittersweet reminder that love and loss are forever connected. Faith's ghost is not here to scare, she is here to heal. And in doing so, she transforms not only Claire and Jamie's journey, but the way we, as the audience, understand Outlander itself. Faith Fraser's ghost is more than just a supernatural detail. It is a symbol, it is a key. It is a secret message placed at the very heart of Outlander's final season. To understand her appearance, we need to step back and look at the themes that have carried this story since the very beginning. Time, fate, sacrifice, and love that survives beyond the grave. From the first time Claire fell through the stones, Outlander has asked one question over and over again: how far will you go for love? Claire risked her life, her future, and her very place in history to be with Jamie. Jamie gave up freedom, safety, and at times even hope, just to hold Claire again. Together they built a family despite the odds. Yet along the way they lost so much, and nothing embodied that loss more than Faith. So why bring Faith back now? Because her ghost is not just a reminder of sorrow. It is the hidden thread that ties every sacrifice together. Faith represents the price of changing destiny. She represents the reality that even when love conquers time, it cannot conquer loss. And yet, in appearing again, Faith also proves that love is stronger than loss. Her ghost is not punishment, it is continuity. It is proof that nothing, not even death, can erase what has been created by love. Think about the timing. Season 8 is the final chapter, the end of a journey. For Claire and Jamie, that means confronting every choice they've ever made. Faith is the first choice they could not control. Her death was the one event that reshaped everything, the one wound that never healed. By bringing her back in the beginning of the last season, the story is forcing us and them to look directly at that wound, to accept that it was not meaningless, to understand that she has always been present. There is also something larger here. Faith's ghost can be seen as a bridge between the living and the dead, between the past and the present. In Diana Gabaldon's world, time is not fixed. Spirits move across it as easily as people move through stone. Faith's return hints that Outlander is not just about traveling through centuries, but about traveling through love itself. She may be gone physically, but spiritually she is woven into every choice Claire and Jamie make, for Brianna and Roger. And even for their children, Faith's ghost carries another layer of meaning. It reminds them and us that their family has always been touched by both loss and resilience. Brianna grew up knowing she had a sister she never met. That absence shaped her just as much as the presence of her parents. Now, by showing Faith, again the story gives Brianna silent closure. A chance to feel that her sister is not just a story told by her mother, but a real soul who still lingers in the family's history. Some fans may argue that Faith's ghost is a symbol of protection, appearing to warn or guide the Frasers as they move toward the final battles of their lives. Others may see it as Diana Gabaldon's way of reminding us that every life matters, no matter how short. And still others may believe it foreshadows the ultimate ending of Outlander, that death is not an ending, but a passage, and that those we love will always find a way back to us. The secret meaning is this: Faith's ghost is not about horror. It is about legacy. It is about love surviving across impossible distances, even the distance between life and death. By choosing Faith as the ghost that returns, the writers are saying that Outlander has always been about family, and that even the smallest life can shape destiny forever. So when we see Faith in episode 1, we are not just watching a ghost story. We are witnessing a full circle moment. The child lost in Paris now returns to remind us that nothing in Outlander is wasted, and no one is ever truly gone. Her presence is both haunting and healing, both tragic and hopeful. She is the past returning to bless the present and prepare the Frasers for the future, and that is why Faith Fraser's ghost matters. Because she is not just Claire and Jamie's daughter. She is a symbol of everything Outlander has stood for, the pain of loss, the power of love, and the truth that destiny is not written in stone, but in the hearts of those who remember. As the series moves forward, Faith's appearance sets the stage for the final themes to unfold. It tells us that closure is coming not just for the Frasers, but for us, the audience who have carried their story for years. Faith's ghost is not here to end the tale. She is here to show us that the tale never ends.